Good morning, beautiful souls. Hope you are all doing well. It is the 1st of November, so that is 1/11/18. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty glad we're now into November. Although Samhain, Halloween yesterday felt really good. Energies seem to have lifted drastically. There is lots going on out there in the planets and different retrogrades and things like that, but I think, you know, now is the time not to focus too much on that. Just understand that, you know, that is having an effect. I think October we were pretty much pushed, triggered, savaged, all kinds of stuff was coming up, and it was a crazy month, I'm sure you'll agree. But now we're into November. We're on our way to the 11/11 portal gate is already open, and so as promised, I want to talk to you about my journey this year, what happened. I don't want to go into too much detail because it's about letting the past go. It's about moving forward. But basically what happened to me was, for those that don't know me, my twin came back. Well, he started messaging me probably about July last year after a few months in separation. He was off and on with his karmic, which I was aware of. And the reason why I was aware of it is not because I stalked his ass. It's because we've got extremely close mutual friends. So although we were in separation, you know, obviously I was hearing stuff and everything else. So I did a lot of clearing work last year on the karmic because my situation, there was a lot of interference and there was a lot of dark. I was warned about this from the outset from Janet Marie from Awakened Warrioress, that in my unique situation, my karmic, my twin's karmic was dark. And you know, I was advised then that part of my contract was I will have to go back and bring my twin back because the dark will be very, very strong with him, and it will be very difficult for him to come back on his own. And at the time I didn't take heed to that because I didn't want to interfere with the journey, because part of our self-mastery is, you know, you just shouldn't be really doing that. You should just accept we're in separation for a reason. We've got to work on our own stuff. Karmics have got their place in terms of coming in and helping us work through stuff to preserve union, in essence. So I didn't take heed to that. I let it all roll. And in 3D, what was validating was the karmic was causing a lot of havoc between me and my friends and my twin. And eventually I stood back. I wasn't going to any of his events anymore. It was just, it was too taxing for me to do it. I continued to work on myself and clear. Subsequently, he got back in touch later on in the summer. A lot of messages. He was kind of making up, breaking up with the girl. We were just in touch by phone. I wasn't really comfortable seeing him while she was still around. Come December, he came back at 100 miles an hour with force, and it was just unbelievable. I knew it was happening because I could feel the pull, and a lot of you now are feeling the pull. You're feeling that your masculines want to get in touch and are coming home, and I'm feeling it as well. But for me, this happened last year. He came back, we hung out, we spent some time together. Then we had a tower moment in January because he was frankly dishonest with me, which was a little bit shocking. He behaved out of character, and it absolutely triggered me. It was the first time we'd ever fallen out before. Even when we were girlfriend and boyfriend back in 2016 and we decided to call it a day, we never fell out, and we've always remained close. But this was too much to bear. And so then from January, for the next few months, I was in and out of ego, very, very disappointed with what had happened. couldn't quite get my head round it. But there was also a sort of subtle depression going on with me. It was like nothing was working out. You know, I was struggling to get consistency with contract work. Financially, things got from bad to worse. And yet I was determined that I'm still on this journey. I'm not giving up. It's all divine timing. There's obviously more things to learn, and asking for God's guidance. You know, what are the blocks? What do I need to work on? But even though I did all of that, I was still active on my group. I was still supporting other twins. There was something still off. And I didn't really want to accept that it was interference. And I don't think any of us really want to. But in the end, you know, and I believe through asking for God's guidance, I was presented with these two amazing women that run Intervention. They've got a very, very specific mission, these two girls. You know, they concentrate purely on twins that have got dark and interference. There's another one called Paranormal Priestess. She does it, but it is very, very specific mission work. Not everybody's cup of tea, you know, because they're very frank and they're very honest. But I have huge respect for them, and I did a bit of a sense check on where things were. I already knew. I already knew that. There was a big block, and there was a problem with myself and my twin. You know, I walked away from him. I disconnected from him. I felt what he was going through was very toxic, so I needed to protect myself. But then you know, as I was starting to heal that and get out of my ego, with their validation and with my intuition, I realized that I'd been extremely naive. When he came back to me in December, as far as I was concerned, although we wouldn't be permanently committed together in union at that point, we were on our way. And just coming back together was enough. You know, we would be divinely protected. I didn't need to do all that clearing that I had been doing leading up to him coming back. So that was naivety in itself. And it was also confirmed to me for the second time, because Janet confirmed it the first time 18 months ago, that this dark karmic dabbles with the dark arts, with witchcraft. And I kind of always knew it, but because I'd abdicated and walked away from my twin and disconnected from my twin, that opened him up to the clutches of the karmic energetically. And it transpires that you know, whatever this was going on, it was affecting his free will, and there was a lot of mind control going on. It was hard for me to accept it, because I think as twins, when we kind of know there's a bit of dark going on in our journey, if we accept it, then it sticks to us. And also we know that with all the shadow work that we've had to do with self-mastery, we kind of tell ourselves, well, that must be our dark and our shadow, but yeah, I've cleared all of that. There is a clear difference, and naively, what I didn't realize back then is when you and your twin come back into physical union together, you know, we know it's expansive in terms of the energy, but also it's a huge light that goes out, and darkness can see us more than any of the other twins, and that is when they can conspire to railroad this twinship, this union. So I thought to myself, well, you know what, things are not moving forward in my life. As much as I'm trying to help everybody and trying to do the mission I feel I need to be doing, I got nothing to fucking lose now. So I took the advice and I started to do twice daily clearing and protection before bed and as soon as I woke up in the morning, for myself and my twin. But before I decided to do that, knowing what had been validated to me, I went into a deep meditation and I reconnected with my twin. And I said to him, whatever's happened has happened, my darling. I completely forgive you. I have made mistakes as well, but I am coming for you. And as soon as I said, I am coming for you, he came back fierce. And I remember hearing his voice saying, oh, thank God, because I am drowning here. And when I heard him say that, I was like, oh my God, you know, I took it too far. All this surrender and 0 point is very, very important part of our self-mastery. But it doesn't mean that we abdicate and abandon our twins energetically, if that makes sense. Physically, yes, especially with a karmic, we cannot interfere in 3D. But we've still got to hold them in a massive space of love, faith and trust, and telepathically work to communicate with them on a day-to-day basis, to send them love, and then equally starting a complete clear down of their energies. And what I obviously was guided to do, because in my situation there was witchcraft going on, there was all kind of crazy shit. You know, I set the intention with my divine team, and obviously God, Archangel Michael, to assist me in the beginning with setting the intention to clear out any mind control, eliminate any manipulation, any jealousy, any demonic activity, anything really that you're guided to set the intention, then you do that. And you pray hard when you are doing that, and you clear everything out of them, and then you shield them with protection. You can then feel, you know, you can cast a crystalline bubble around them. You can shield them, you know, whatever resonates and you're guided to do. And before you seal it, you can then ask for God's love to fill their bubble. Then you seal it. Then you set the intention that you forbid anything, any entity, anything that is not holding God's grace. Okay, God's grace, and you forbid that. And then you do it again before you go to bed, because in dream space is when attacks can happen, as well as in day space. So I did this, and I do this, and I've been doing it religiously ever since July, and massive things have absolutely happened. You know, suddenly I got my contract was extended by another 12 months. Suddenly I made the decision, and I was guided to move to another location, which, you know, I'm going through that process now. But all of a sudden things were shifting and aligning, and my group on Facebook suddenly flourished. You know, we had a lot of twins joining, a lot of warriors, Blu-rays, masculines, so things started to really rev up, and then my twin, I heard, had a huge tower moment at a very important event that he'd organised, where there was issues with his karmic, and, you know, basically worked towards bringing the event down. You know, it wasn't just her, but it was kind of started by her, and yeah, the whole thing crashed and burned. So the interference was now affecting his, you know, his career, so to speak. So as a consequence, this karmic, you know, for the good of his business, it wasn't allowed to go to any of his events anymore. So then a local event came up, and I, you know, had kept away from all his events, because as much as me and him were okay, we just didn't want the drama from the karmic. But anyway, knowing that she wasn't going to be there, I was invited, and it was wonderful to actually set eyes on my twin, which I think was in August, can't remember now, and here is beautiful music, and well, what a night. It was an absolutely fabulous night, and just to see my twin, was just such a massive activation. And it was, you know, the fruits of my labor, because when I think where I was at sort of June, July, you know, doom and gloom, this sort of low level depression, not feeling great, things were just stagnant in my life, not really going anywhere, to suddenly flipping it, and all of a sudden great things are happening. And then I'm suddenly, you know, it's divinely orchestrated that I'm with my twin at one of his events. It, you know, you just can't make this stuff up. So I now know that then I'm in full alignment. And I think what it taught me was there is still a bit of naivety out there, you know, and it's time now to wake up. You know, as twin flames, we're all seasoned now. We should have all completed the self-mastery. A bulk of the work should be done. The codependency should be cleared. The runner chaser is an old template that should have absolutely been smashed. You know, we as twin flames should now be very comfortable and contented with where we are at with our lives. We honor and accept that if the karmic is still around in our twin's life, it will all work itself out. But if we do not take responsibility as the one that woke first, as the one that's leading this journey, and continue to ensure that our twins and ourselves are cleared and protected on a day-to-day basis, and there is no manipulation out there, there is no fucking with our free wills, which, believe you me, was happening. You know, and when I said earlier, when I was talking about the Tao moment with my twin, I remember thinking, he's lost his mind, he's behaving out of character. And I even had a dream where he was absolutely like a crazy person, and I was looking at him thinking, he has really lost his mind. And what that was basically my divine team and God showing me that he's being mind controlled, but I just wasn't getting that. I was too in my ego, too upset and disappointed that he was behaving this way, but he was manipulated. So I had a lot of more work to do. And I think as twins, we've got to accept that, you know, yes, and I know some of you are rolling your eyes, thinking, oh, I've done so much already. It's never going to stop. You know, we are twin flames. And it's also a reminder that, you know, the raw side of our journey, we are here to eradicate darkness from the planet. Okay, and we are doing it, and it is happening. And in dream space, most of us are doing this in dream space. We may not have been shown exactly what we're doing, but you know, when you wake up in the morning, you feel like you've just come off the night shift. Yeah, so we are, as twin flames, fighting to eradicate darkness from the planet. So in essence, we also need to take responsibility for eradicating any interference and darkness from ourselves, from our twins, from our individual journey. It's all relative, okay? We can't be walking around saying it's all rainbows and unicorns. Yes, we use all the metaphysical stuff. They have got their place. They are tools. They are informative. And it helps keep our vibe up, 100%. Doing transmissions, doing meditations, it's all good. There's nothing wrong with that, but it has its place. If we focus our whole life on the metaphysical and astrology and portals and everything else, you know, we may be missing the point. So I'm recording this video because I ask you to have an honest conversation with yourself and sense check. Where are you at in your journey? Are you communicating with your twin on a day-to-day basis telepathically? Okay, do you feel him or do you not? Is there a disconnection? Do you feel that you are losing your feelings for your twin? Do you feel that everything is stuck and you're in limbo and you're going nowhere? Do you feel negative, and are you giving up hope, or are you thinking to just get a soulmate? Well, you know, if all those things are happening with you, then I ask you to do two things really. you can go, you're an ascended master now. Go into your inner knowing, connect with God. We are essences of God. If you haven't developed a relationship, a personal relationship with God, then I don't see how you're going to get into union, frankly. And I think, if anybody retaliates when I upload this video, then it tells me that you may not be a true twin flame. So go to God for guidance and have an honest conversation. Where could these blocks be? What am I missing? And if you feel that you are still not getting those answers, talk to your twin. Ask how they are. Your twin might validate with music, with messages. You've got to be really, really vigilant. And if you still feel you're not getting anywhere, then absolutely amp up on the clearing and protection, and do it religiously every day, twice a day, and then start to see what happens after a few days. Because if once you're clearing out all that interference and darkness, then your twin will be able to communicate with you, because there could be huge blocks. Okay, or you can message me on YouTube, or you can come to me on the Naked Flame on Facebook. I trust and know some good people that can help validate what's going on in your journey, and also can have a session with you and clear what could be going on if it's too much for you to be doing yourself. So there are ways to do this. But my other thing that I wanted to say to you is, last year there was time. If you wanted to take time out and have a soulmate for a while, there was time. I am strongly guided to tell you there is no time now. So, because we've got to get on mission. We've got to get into union. Unions are happening. I've got 4 unions on my group. Last year there was none. I have 4 couples on my group in union, and they're absolutely fantastic. All right, and we gotta protect them and each other. All right, we gotta celebrate when this happens and guard them and protect them, because they're going to be more susceptible to interference when they come together. We've got to make sure they stay together. And I will be doing a live with one of my soul sisters that is in union, to talk about her experience since she's gone into union, and how it's very, very important to keep this level of work up. So we're going to be talking about that. So I think now, as I said, last year there was time. This year there is no time. Okay, if any of you are thinking about, I'm sick of this, my twin's karmic is still there, nothing's going on, then take responsibility and make sure, are you doing everything you can to clear and protect your twin, holding them in love and trust, because that behavior and that active work is going to guide them home. If they don't feel that from you, and they feel resentment, and they feel that you're losing interest, and they feel that you're too busy looking at other soulmates, then why would they want to come back? What are they coming back to? We all know that in order to come back into union, our frequencies have got to be pretty much leveled out. Okay, the vibration has got to be spot on for us to go into union. So if, as the leader in this journey, which is majority of feminines, have got all these doubts or too busy thinking about other people, other relationships, then how is that frequency going to level up to bring you two back together? And I'm sorry if this triggers some of you, but it's about now. This is go time. All right. I also beginning to see, and I knew this at the beginning of the year, that this year was going to be a clear out, a big divide. It was going to be, I knew we were going to see twins drop off. And I believe there's 2 reasons for it. One, they weren't actually true twin flames in the beginning. They are light workers. They are harmonic soulmates. They could be twin rays. They still have a very, very important mission, but they got connected with the whole twin flame journey, may have got on the bandwagon a bit, and convinced themselves that they were twins. The other side of it is, yes, I think things are changing in the twin flame community. Although we heard and we knew that you're a twin no matter what, you'll come together no matter what, I think things have changed now. I think the twins that will come into union are the twins that have done the self-mastery, they stay in full surrender, they've detached from the outcome, they have created a life of joy, even though their twin isn't there. They've even found that inner union and that relationship with God and their divine team and their life as they have created it, that that they actually can live a very, very happy life without their twin there. That, I think, is when the alchemy starts to really happen, once you find inner union with yourself. I mean, I asked myself about 4 weeks ago about it, will it ever get to the point where I will start to think about somebody else? And I repelled myself. I was like, do you know what? I don't care. I'm so happy and contented in myself. I've done a lot of work. I love my life the way it is. I'm excited. I'm moving home. I'm still doing the work on myself as the triggers come. I'm sending my twins so much love. But it could happen in 10 years, 2 years, 3 years, 2 months. It doesn't matter anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? And I think, that's where we need to be, or getting to be. Not sitting there feeling sorry for ourselves and saying, why isn't this happening? And mission is what we should all be doing. It doesn't necessarily mean you got to read fucking tarot cards, or you got to do lives, or you got to record videos on YouTube. Go to your divine team, go to God and ask, what is it that I should be doing? What is it should I be doing? And you will get that guidance. I've still got a job, a day job. I've still got to put, food on the table. But I am very, very active, and I have been, as you know, for a year now. I've also got my work outside of my work, which is helping other twins, helping myself. So mission is very, very important, and I think if you need to have that honest conversation with yourself. If you are not doing any kind of mission, you're not guided to do any kind of mission, you're not connecting with your twin on a day-to-day basis, you're not clearing out and protecting both of you, you're not sending your twin love but remaining detached in 3D. And if you're not doing all those things, then what is the point? and it could very well be that you just don't resonate to the twin flame energy anymore, and you've realized that actually this is not for you. And that's absolutely fine, but you've got to have that honest conversation with yourself and turn this around and get out of this limbo. For the twins that know that they are going to come into union, but there are delays, there is limbo, get off your backsides and really start doing that work remotely, energetically, because remember, I took it too far. Okay, I abdicated and walked away from my twin to protect myself because I felt he lost his head and it was toxic. I took it too far and I ended up abandoning my twin. I went too far and he was drowning, and he validated that to me. All right, so it's all good. All right, and it can all be good. I am back on track. I went off track. There are a lot that have gone off track. I am seeing twin flame teachers drop like flies, and so therefore there's a lot of conflicting information out there, and I think now is the time. Stop listening to anybody else. Don't even listen to me. Just go into your inner knowing. You are an ascended master now. You will get those answers. Connect with God. Get that inner guidance. If you are then guided to reach out externally to get some help and support from other twins, healer twins, shamanic twins, you know, clear twins that are specialists at clearing out darkness and interference, come to me or reach out there and go and find that to help you on your journey. But all this stalking on YouTube to try and get answers, stalking your twins on social media to try and see what's going on, you are on the wrong path. Okay, and I'm telling you that now. You do not need to be worried or concerned about what your twin is doing in 3D. Your concern and responsibility is keeping them clear and protected and with love, which will in turn encourage them to clear their lives, their work, do their work, and move themselves back to you. But you've got to believe it and you've got to do the work. So I'm not going to carry on for much longer now because it's been 30 minutes, but I hope that helps some of you. I will be letting you know when I'm going to be doing a live with one of my sisters who is in union, so we're going to do a bit of a Q&A, but just food for thought. I love you all. For those that know in their heart and soul that they're coming into union at some point, then do a 180 and get this bloody moving. For the ones that are beginning to realize they may not be a twin, it's not the end, okay? It's absolutely not the end. You just got to find where your mission is. You are very, very important, okay? But it's no point following the twin flame journey and struggling with all the twin flame downloads and activations and the energy. There's no point struggling if that is not your mission. You know, it's insanity. So find where your mission is as a light worker, all right? Being a twin flame, let me tell you, is not the be-all and end-all. It's specific, okay? There are very, very, very important missions as well, and we've all got to work together. But you've got to find your place, and if you feel out of place, then set to work and find out where your place should be. Anyway, I love you all so much, and I will speak with you very, very soon. Bye.